Hello and welcome back to the Cock Dice. Tonight we're going to do something a little different. I've spent much of the last week watching a series on Amazon Prime called Black Sails. That's pirates galore. And I remembered, stashed away somewhere in my cupboard of many things, I had a copy of Oak and Iron from Firelock Games. This was kickstarted, probably 2018. Probably arrived sometime last year, and I opened it, had a look at the parts and put it away in a cupboard. And it's not really seen the light of day since. But since I'm in a kind of piratey mood, I thought I'd break it out and have a bit of a go. So I've had a read through the rules. I've got a kind of idea of what I'm doing. I'm probably going to get it horrifically wrong. So I'll talk you through some of the basic concepts, talk you through the cards, play a couple of turns, and we'll see how this goes and whether or not I can get my head around it in a short video. So the two forces I'm going to use in tonight's game are both identical. We're both going to have a flute and a brigantine. So the flute is a slightly larger ship here, brigantine is a slightly smaller one on the right here, and I've got two of these handily because of the extra pack I bought. So these are the cards for the ships. They've got loads of information on them and there's loads of upgrades they can have. We're going to focus on just the core with none of the upgrades tonight. So we've got our points cost here, name of the ship here. We've got our fortitude value, so that's how many hits we take before we do any fatigue on the crew. We've got our broadside value and our crew value, so this is how many dice they roll when they shoot or attack. On this side here, this is a movement, so essentially if the wind is from behind them, they're going to move 3, and if the wind is from this side, they're going to move 2, so a bit slower heading into the wind, and if the wind's right in front of you, there's a whole complex set of rules for how you handle that, and I'll tackle that later. At the bottom, each of these ships has some fairly small abilities, so high freeboard, so when it gets an attack, you've got to get at least 2 hits before you cause fatigue, and a shallow draft, it only rolls 1 dice when testing to run aground, so it's not very deep, so it's going to be slightly better at passing over reefs. The brigantine has a yar, so it may make an additional turn at the beginning or end of its movement, so that's really good. That makes it quite nippy and easy to turn around. Small, increase the fortitude of this ship by 1 when it's being targeted by a ship at cannon shot. I'll have to check what that means in a minute. Fore and aft rig, this ship may make a change heading seamanship action whilst in the wind's eye, so that's when the wind's in front of it. So as you can see from these two ships, they're fairly similar. This is a little lighter, it's got slightly less crew, they're both as fast as each other. That's all we really need to know for now. You've got a load of your damage markers down here. I'll have to check what this, you have to pay extra points for stout. So we've got 2, 4, 6 damage on this one and 2, 4, 6 damage on that one as well. So the flute can buy essentially an upgrade that makes it a little tougher. Okay, so that's the key elements of the ship cards. The ship itself is fairly simply marked. You've got a centre line in both directions, and then you've got your little V shape for the wind value. We also have a set of movement markers. That's these here. These are placed in line with the centre line. So when you're moving, it's that way. And when you're turning, you place them here and move them into the angle of the line. So the movement seems to be really, really simple in this. They've got quite a slick little system for playing this. Anything else I need to mention? Oh yeah, I'll just mention the dice as well. So the game uses special dice. It's got a bunch of different symbols on it. So we've got a sail, I think we've got 2 pistols, 2 rifles, 1 cannon, and 1 skull and crossbones. The dice essentially line up with this range measuring stick for shooting. So as you can see, from a short range pistol shot, any of the symbols essentially hit. Medium range, it's 1 less symbol, so the pistol doesn't hit, and long range, it's on the cannon or the skull and crossbones that hit. So it seems, again, a really nice simple way of identifying how likely you are to hit. So the game uses a set of initiative cards. So each player will build their own deck of these. I'm using the generic ones here. And essentially each turn you will select one for the next turn, so you're trying to edge. Do you want the cool ability that may have a lower or a worse initiative value than some of the ones that are slightly better? So there's a whole host of these. I'll tackle them as I come to them. Because I'm playing solo tonight, I'm just going to shuffle these together and draw the top card each turn. Okay, and here we are all set up for tonight's game. We have, I think, the Dutch on this side, though I've probably got the flag the wrong way around, and some pirates over there. Sorry, I haven't painted the ships yet, but they kind of look cool enough. These are literally what they look like out of the box. So they come in brown plastic and kind of creamish plastic for the masts, and they all just slot together, so you can basically use this out of the box. I've seen some lovely paint jobs. I'm probably going to do something fairly simple with some contrast paints on these over the next week or so, when I figure out how I'm going to spray them and remember which masts belong to which ship, which I'm just going to go horrifically wrong, I'm sure. So for the first turn, the Dutch player will draw their top initiative card. They've got a 1, fire as she bears, versus a 3, effective fire. Okay. Right, okay, so as the pirates have got the initiative, we'll use theirs first. So effective fire, increase the broadside value of each ship in this squadron by 1 for the rest of this turn. So they want to be getting in and getting shooting pretty quickly. The Dutch have fire as she bears. Ships in this squadron that are in formation may make a free broadside attack against any ship that moves into a legal firing position during the movement phase. So we're next going to go into the movement phase. So we're going to start off with the pirates. We're going to keep this fairly simple. So the wind at the moment is coming from this edge here, so it's blowing across the board that way. So essentially this front ship, we'll use the flute first, just because it's the front ship and I don't want to crash into my own one. So this is known as sailing large, so it's stern. The rear of the ship is closer to the table's weather edge than its bow. So going that way, which means we get to move our full movement of 3. Now we have different sail settings in this, but I'm not going to use them just yet. So as part of my movement, I can also perform a single turn. So I can do that at the beginning or at the end of my move. So we're sailing at a value of 3. So we use the 3 marker here. So we line the arrow here up with the centre arrow on the ship, and we're going to turn the ship inwards like so. And then we're going to move. So we're going to do the same again. We're going to line centre up with the rear of this marker and then move it to there. So that is its movement for the turn. Doesn't move very far, does it? So it's not a quick ship. Then we're going to we can do crew actions next. So we can reload, we don't need to do that. We can rally, we can repair, or we can change sail settings. So the ship may change its sail settings up 1 level or down 1 level. Essentially go to full sail for next turn. Get some speed on, so we're going to use this little marker here. My crew action is to change my sail settings to full sail. So now it's finished moving, we're going to place a wake marker at the back of it. So we're going to use the brigantine here first of all. Now he obviously wants to try and get himself nice and quick in front of the pirate ship there, as quick as he can, get out of range. So he's going to make a crew test, and he's going to try and up his speed. So seamanship actions, just speed. So we're not in the wind's eye, entangled or aground or anchored. We increase or decrease the speed rating by 1. So I've got to perform a seamanship action by rolling a skill test. So 5 dice here, and we've managed to roll 2 skull and crossbones. So this ship has successfully increased its speed by 1, so it's going to get to move at speed 4. So like last time, we're going to turn first, so we're going to place the marker, move the marker just there. I'm going to turn the ship, not quite as far on this one, like that. Then we're going to replace the marker in the centre, like that, and move the ship straight along it to the central again, like so. And then at the end of its movement, we'll do that. Now the pirate ship's going to be moving quite quickly because he's got his sails on full, so we need to think ahead a little bit, and do we want to change our sail? And I think he does. He's going to they're going to go to half sail so that they can attempt to turn faster and get past the pirate ship instead of going full on ahead, because I think it's going to be quite tight getting a turn around that island. So it is back over to the pirate player. We've got the flute on this side. No, we haven't. We've got the brigantine on this side, so the pirate player is going to use the brigantine. It's currently, again, it's windward. Oh, it's at full sail, sorry. Large sail. Large sail, that's the one. That's full sail, large sail. Ship at large. Again, we need to try and get in. We need to get some sort of broadside out here. So I think this guy is going to also make a skill check. He's going to try and change heading. So we're going to make 5 dice. We've got plenty of skull and crossbones there. So we may make a turn action before it moves using the speed 1 tool. So this is not a particularly sharp turn. Turn like that. We're then going to move. So it's going to move its 3. Like so. If we go that way, we'll go this way. So we're going to twist in that direction. Like so. And then we'll place a marker behind there. And last of all, we've got the flute on the Dutch side. He's also going to try and turn quickly. So my seamanship check, they failed the seamanship check, so we can't do the quick turn, so he's going to have to use his normal movement. So in this case, we're going to turn first, like so, and then move forwards. They will. He's going to go full sail as well. So that is the end of the movement phase. We move on to the attack phase. During the attack phase, players will alternate making attacks 1 ship at a time until all the ships have activated. After a ship is activated, remove its wake marker to indicate it has attacked this phase. During an activation, the ship may make one of the following actions. Broadside. A ship may fire 1 or 2 broadside attacks in a turn, 1 from each side of the ship. The target ship is within cannon shot or less of the firing ship. Okay, so for the pirate's turn, we're going to have to fire the brigantine because it's the only ship that's got anything within broadside. Do that one around. So it can fire out at the just about hitting the flute here. It's at cannon range. So the brigantine has 4 shots on its card. And it needs skulls or cannons to hit. So we scored no hits whatsoever there. So it has fired its broadside. It's now unloaded on that side. And we'll take that away to show it's activated. So I should have increased my broadside by 1 for this turn because of the effective fire, but because I've rolled no good dice, it's not going to affect anything at all, unfortunately. So we're just going to leave it like that. So it's now over to the Dutch, and we'll have a quick look at what they can shoot. So it is, that's in cannon shots, that's out of range entirely. So on the Dutch side, the brigantine here is going to shoot at the brigantine on the pirate side. So I did forget, he should have had a free shot actually. Should have had a free shot during the movement phase. Okay, we'll not worry about the objective, the initiative cards. I completely forgot them this turn. Next turn. So we'll roll these 4 attacks. Now we're looking for skulls and cannons. So this time we get a single cannon. Okay, so we've scored a single hit on the flute. Now the pirate's flute's fortitude is 2, so it requires 2 hits to do any sort of damage on the ship, so it doesn't take any damage at all. However, it does take 1 point of fatigue as they've been fired upon, and obviously there's bits of deck exploding everywhere, and pirates getting all shaken up by this exciting action. So we will go back over to the pirates. I don't think they've got anything else to do, so it just can't shoot its swivel guns, and everything's out of its arc, unfortunately. So nothing there from the flute. Back over to the Dutch. We've got the brigantine here, the flute here, No, nothing, and nothing in shove gun range. So, unfortunately, neither of the big ships can shoot this turn. Let's to pop off. Let's place like there. So we're now into the end phase. So we've got no destroyed or shaken ships, we've got no withdrawal, we've got no sinking ships, and we return our initiative cards to my hand. Now, because I didn't use this, I'm going to return it to my hand and see if it turns up later in the game. I think that's only fair. So we'll enter into turn 2. We'll draw a new initiative card. So the Dutch draw a 3 with reload, and the pirates get 1, which is down. Oh. So the Dutch have the initiative for the round. Reload. Each ship in the squadron that is in formation may immediately remove a reload marker. No, so I'm no longer in formation, so I don't get to apply that. However, the Dutch have the initiative for the round. The pirates, on the other hand, have down. All ships in the squadron reduce the amount of fatigue taken by each attack by 1 to a minimum of 0. That's really good. So Dutch are kind of meh again, unfortunately. So we've got to figure out where these ships are going. So we know this one's going to be travelling quite rapidly, so it's going to be moving 4 at least, if not 5 forwards. So we're going to need to get our ships round to try and get some shooting on it. This ship certainly needs to reload, so we need to get some plots. I think we're going to go with the flutes first of all, because we'll have the initiative in the attacks phase, whatever the second phase is called. So it's at her partial masts. So at minimum sail, so I reduce my speed rating by 1. So it's currently speed 2, which is okay, that's fine. We're going to have to make a fairly sharp turn. So what we're going to do, first of all, speed 2, so I need a little 2 marker. Do we need to turn? Do we need to really turn? I'm going to turn that much. I think we need to turn twice here, so we're going to take a seamanship check and see if we can make a turn. Oh, actually, it's a flute, isn't it? The brigantine, sorry. So this has Yar. The ship may make an additional turn at the beginning or end of its movement, so it's going to do that, so it doesn't have to take a seamanship check. So turn. Oh, it uses. Doesn't say what it uses, so we'll use this 2 here. And then we're going to go forwards 2. Now, I don't think I want to turn again actually. If I turn again, I'm going to be heading into the island there, and I don't overly want to do that. So I think we might just leave it there. Hopefully this ship will just sail straight into my line of fire. As a crew action, we're going to have to reload because we need those guns. So remove a reload marker from one of the ship's sides, so we'll remove that. We'll leave ourselves at half sail, and we will place a weight marker behind the ship to show that I have moved. So we're now over to the pirates. The pirates have got themselves in a little bit of a pickle. We're going to have to activate the flute first, quite simply, because otherwise the brigantine is going to go straight into the back of it. Now it is moving at full sail, so it adds 1 to its move, so it's moving at 4. We could try and pick up the pace again and move all the way up to 5. So the difference here is only, we're talking about an inch. I've not actually measured these. That looks to be quite a good pace to be at. So to try and get his angle he wants, he's first of all going to take a seamanship check. He's going to try and turn first. We want. Oh, we can't. So no, we can't do that. So it's going to have to just turn like this and move 4 forwards like this. Not putting it in a great position, but it hopefully will be outside the broadsides of the smaller ship. It's back over to the Dutch, and we've got the flute here. It's looking like he's going to have an exceptionally good set of shots in a moment. So we need to get ourselves in front of that ship. Now, we're currently moving at speed 3. We're on full sail, so we'll be at speed 4. That's only that far. We want to really push this ship. So we're going to try and make a seamanship check to increase my speed. So seamanship check is 5 dice. We're looking for sculls or sails. We've got a single set of sails there. That increases my speed by 1, so I'm now moving at speed 5. So do we turn first? Yes, I think we do. So I'm going to turn first, in like that. Then I'm going to sail forward at speed 5, all the way to there. Hopefully, I was hoping to try to push in front a little bit more, but we'll see. We might get that next turn if we're lucky. Okay. It's back over to the pirate crew, and we don't need any sort of crew check here. I'm going to leave him on full sail, keep the speed up. So we've got the brigantine over there on the pirate crew. We are going to seamanship, whatever it's called. See, it is seamanship action to adjust our speed, or do we turn sharply? Let's adjust our speed, extra speed out of this. So we've got a set of sails there, so yes, he can move up to speed 4. It's going to simply move 4 forwards to there. Now, I've actually got broadside there, so I'm not going to turn. Weights down as well. But as a crew action, we are going to reload. Righto, so we're now at the end of the movement phase. Everything's moved. We're going to get some action. So I think we're going to start with the Dutch flute. He's going to fire a broadside right across here. So we're easily in broadside range there. Let's get a full shot across there. So he has a broadside value of 4. And we're shooting against the brigantine, which has... So increase it, so it's actually fortitude 2 currently. So we're looking for cannons or skull and crossbones. So we've got a single skull and crossbones and a cannon. That's excellent. So that's 2 hits. So that is going to cause 1 point of damage on the on the brigantine, and it will also cause 1 point of fatigue. Because it takes fatigue every time you're hit. Okay, so that's a really good start there. We've unloaded, so let's pop that marker next to us there. We're over to the pirate side now. I don't think we're going to sink anything. We've got fatigue starting to build up. I think we're going to shoot and put some firepower into the Dutch flute. We're going to do a partial shot. I'm going to check the rules for that. So the flute's crew rating is 2, so we get a 2 dice attack. Oh, what I've just realised, I didn't take any fatigue on the brigantine because of the down ability. So we get a pair of pistols, which is not anything in particular because it's a musket shot range, so we miss completely there, but we don't reload. So it doesn't generate a reload marker, which is quite useful. Over to the Dutch side, we've got the brigantine at the front. It is in musket range, so we're going to do the same again. We've only got single dice here. So all we're going to be able to do is pop some fatigue on that flute. So we'll single dice it. Looking for a musket. We've got a musket. That adds another fatigue to the pirate flute. No, it doesn't because of down, and it wasn't a skull, so it would have needed a critical to do anything exciting there. So nothing there in particular. Last of all, we have the pirates. So that one's been. Oh, I've got A, knock these ships. B, I'm going to take the damn cards off. Finally, we have the brigantine here. I think he's going to shoot back against the flute. So it has a broadside of 4. we're looking for nothing of any use really. We were looking for cannons there, aren't we? That way, isn't it? Yes, it's in cannon range. So we've got no cannons. We've got 1 skull and 2 sails. So we've got a single hit there. I just need to check what the skull does. Any of the dice roll results were a skull and crossbones. Roll an additional dice for each skull if you get a skull, a sail or a sword. An additional dice. We don't get any of those. Any other results have no further effect. Okay, so nothing. We've done a single hit there against the flute. The flute, obviously, for the Dutch, has got 2 fortitude, and so it doesn't take any damage, but it does take a point of fatigue because we did a hit on it. No, we've got to score 2 hits to get a fatigue on the flute. It's got high sides, basically, high freeboards. So that was fairly ineffective. Rightio, so that's the end of the turn. Oh, hang on, any actions? So that was a broadside. So he takes one of those. Make sure all my tokens are nice and clear. I'll take that for the end of the round. And we'll move on to the 3rd turn. So, in the next round, let's draw some initiative cards. So for the Dutch, we get a 4. Get a fleet manoeuvre. Each ship in this squadron that is in formation and not entangled. Oh, I think we're actually, no, we're not in formation anymore. So we haven't got that. I think we just check formation. So you've got to be, yeah, essentially he's out. If they were both in, they'll be all right. And the pirates get 2 careful aim. So when testing for critical damage, ships in this squadron reroll on a dice that fail to score hits. That's quite good. If we roll criticals, of course. So the Dutch have the higher score for this round. I think we're going to use the brigantine first of all because it's going to have to get out of the way. We also need to try and turn it quite rapidly. So the flute is on full sail, so he's moving 4. So I think we're going to try and make so we can make a free turn first of all, and then we might try an extra free turn with my seamanship ability. Let's try and get the boat really shifted round here. So, additional turn at the beginning or end of its movement. So I'm moving 2 currently, so he's going to make a turn there. He's going to try and make an additional turn, so he's going to make a seamanship check. We've got a set of sails, that is a good result, so we can use the extra turn from the 1. Just turn it like that. And then we've got a 2 movement. Just place next to the ship here. Move it forward 2. Now I haven't done my normal move here, my normal turn. So I've done a free one for my flute, for my brigantine's yar ability, sorry. I've done a seamanship check, and then at the end of my move I'm going to make another turn, like so. Which is starting to push me into the wind a little bit, but we'll turn round hopefully. Next on to the pirates. Now I kind of want to leave the main pirate ship till a little later. I want to see what this flute here is going to do. So we'll activate the pirate brigantine first of all. It's not on full sail, it's got nothing special there. We are going to take a seamanship check to try and get my early move in. Early turn, we've got a successful seamanship check there. We're going to make a turn using the 1 marker. I remember this is on the reason for this. Turn that way first. And then we're still moving at speed 3. Let's move to there, and then we're going to make, oh, stop doing things like that. Another turn that way. And as a crew action, we're going to reload. So it's back to the Dutch, and they've been left a little bit high and dry here. We're on full sails, we're moving quite rapidly. So we're moving 3, 4 at the moment. We can get a move to 5. That's not going to get me out of the way of that ship. And we've also got a set of unloaded guns, so the crew action, we can't change our speed or anything. So we're going to take a seamanship check. We're going to try and turn as fast as possible. We fail that miserably, so it can't turn immediately, so we're going to have to just go off the movement. Rammed in the side, so I'm going to have to try and turn. So we'll actually go in like this. No, we won't. So we're going to turn first and then go down like that. There's a crew action, we need to reload. Okay, and finally it's the pirates, and they've got their brigantine. We're moving 4 currently. So the wind is at our side still. So we're still moving +1 movement for our full sail. So we're going to move in here for the kill. And then I'll just turn the other way. So we're into shooting. Now the pirates thought they were being clever, but have just sailed themselves straight into the broadside of the Dutch. So the Dutch is going to get to shoot first, because they want initiative. They are within pistol shot range of the enemy flagship. So we're going to make a broadside over this side. We've got 4 dice and we are going to roll away. We want basically any results: skulls, cannons, rifles or pistols. So in this case we've got 2 pistols, 2 rifles or 2 muskets. So that's 4 hits against the enemy flute. So the flute has a fortitude of 2, so it takes 2 damage, and it will also take a fatigue because we did at least 2 hits on it. So that pirate boat is getting fairly battered, and the flute has unloaded its side guns. Now we're onto the pirate side. So the pirate brigantine is going to try and put some hurt onto the Dutch brigantine, quite simply because that will hopefully reduce some of its effectiveness in shooting. So it's got a full broadside. We're outside musket range, so we're in cannon shot range. Now I've taken no fatigue on that brigantine at all, so we've got a 4 dice attack. Looking at cannons or skull and crossbones, we've got a single hit there against the brigantine. Its fortitude is increased by 1 by target shot, so it's got, I can't do any damage there, but I do a single point of fortitude, of fatigue. 2 Fs. Dangerous having 2 Fs that you use in the same phase. So that ship has now shot, and it's back over to the Dutch side. So we have the brigantine here. He's going to get a broadside into the pirate flute as well. He gets 4 dice, -1 because of his fatigue. He is at nice short range, so pistols and muskets do score hits. So that's 2 hits from him against the flute. So the flute has a fortitude of 2, so that scores 1 damage. So we take the damage up to 3. And we add another point of fatigue to it. Okay, and finally it's the pirate's turn, and we've got just this flute in the middle now. It's got 3 fatigue, so it's only got a single dice shot here. We'll broadside over this side over towards the enemy flute. It's only going to be a single dice attack, unfortunately, but we might score a crit, which could be quite lucky. So it normally has a shoot of 4. It's got 3 fatigue at the moment. Single dice. We did get a single hit. The flute has high freeboard and has 2 fortitude, so it doesn't take any fatigue or any damage. We've unloaded this side here. So these have all moved, all shot. And we're into the final turn of the game. into the final phase of the turn. So initiative cards for the turn, we have on the Dutch side, favourable wind. So that's quite good, that's going to make us really rather rapid there. And on the pirate side we only scored a 4. That's not particularly useful because neither in formation nor within pistol shot of a friendly ship. So I think we're going to activate the Dutch brigantine first of all. Now he's heading into the wind now, so he still has a movement of 2. He's on half sail, so it's 1. I also need to go a little speedier. So we're going to take a seamanship check on 4 dice because we've got a single fatigue. I scored no successes there. So instead of that, we're going to make a turn inwards for its yaw ability. It's going to move forward an inch. I'd like to turn him again. I don't think I can. I can turn him not quite up. Not sure what happens when you cross over 2 ships. Bases. Okay, so with this turn, I've collided with the pirate ship here. So we are at speed 1 at the moment, so we make a single dice roll. If I roll a skull, the ship that caused the collision takes a point of damage. If I roll a sail, the rigging becomes fouled on the ship I'm colliding with, so the pirate ship, and they are now entangled. Any other result has no effect. If the ships did not become entangled, the ship that was struck is then moved a yard arm distance directly away from what hit it. I'm not sure why. So roll this. We got neither of those results, so what is a yard arm? Yard arm is the width of the ruler. So we'll move pirate ship. Moves that far across, like so. Righto, this is getting rather messy in the middle there. So as a crew action, we will reload the side guns. So it's over to the pirate's turn. Now I don't particularly want to move this flute yet. I need the opponent's flute to get out of the way. So I'm going to use the brigantine. Now this is starting to get out of formation a little bit. So we are going to make our free manoeuvre. Handley's not at any speed, so he's at speed 3 at the moment. Just going to take this out of the way for a minute. Make our free turn. Like that. We're then going to take a seamanship check with a minus, oh no minus, so it's a full 5 dice check. We've got a single skull, that's good isn't it for a seamanship check? Yes, we've got a single skull there, that is a successful seamanship check, so we're going to make another turn. I think this is at speed 1 isn't it? And then we're going to move at speed 3. Straight down to there. I'm going to turn. I don't want to turn again. I'm going to have to turn again because otherwise I shall collide with the island. I don't know if we want to do that. And as a crew action, we will reload the side guns. Okay, next up is the Dutch. We've got the flute here. That's going to go next. It needs to try and get itself in a position where it can make some shots on possibly that flute. So we are at full sail, so we're sailing at 4. Let's try and up its speed. It's got plenty of successes there on its seamanship check, so we can move at speed of 5. So it's going to move 5 down here, like so, and then it's going to try and make a turn inwards. Find in the centre, like so, and then we'll reload as part of my crew action. So the pirate flute is next. It is at full sail still, so it's moving at speed 4. Oh well. So moving at 4. No, 4 will be fine actually. We'll move there. That, and then I want to turn it as well. This way. Just skimming the back of that. Not quite colliding there. We're unloaded on this side. Now what we're going to do this time as a crew action is rally, and so we're going to remove a point of fatigue and take us down to 2 fatigue. So we're on to the Dutch. They are shooting first. So it's the Dutch team first, and we're going to fire with the brigantine first on the pirate flute. So it's got a shoot value of 4, it's losing 1 because of the fatigue. It's firing a broadside and it's within short range there, so it's all dice. So skulls and crossbones, cannons, muskets or pistols. So we have a cannon, a pistol, we have a cannon and a musket score there. So that's 2 hits on the flute. That's enough to do a point of damage, so that takes it up to damage 4, and it will do another point of fatigue on it, taking it back up to 3 fatigue. So the Dutch having some exceptionally good rolls here. I'm just pummeling that poor ship. It's onto the pirates. Yeah, let's use the flute before it takes any more damage. So it would normally have 4 shots as a broadside hitting into the enemy brigantine. It's reduced by 3 because of its fatigue, so it's got a single dice. A crit would be excellent. It gets a musket, so that's a single hit. Its fortitude is increased by 1 because it's not cannon shot anymore, so no, it's still a 1, so that's his 1 damage, and it will also take a fatigue. Back over to the Dutch. I think the flute is going to fire rearwards using its swivel guns. So we've got a crew value of 2. So we're going to fire backwards, looking at 2, let's get some pretty good shots here. We've got a cannon and a pistol, that hits on both counts there. So that's 2 hits on it, that's enough to do another point of damage. It's 5 damage, it's up 2, and it's now on 4 fatigue. So the pirate flute is really beginning to suffer now. And finally on the pirate side, we've got the pirate brigantine. It's going to fire its swivel guns forward into the enemy brigantine. It gets a single dice for this. Oh. We get a rifle hit, so we've got a single hit there. High freebore, no small, no. That does a single point damage. It does do a damage. It takes the damage 2, and we'll also do a point of fatigue, which will take up to 3 fatigue. Fired, fired, fired. He's not fired any oh, he broadsided. He broadsided. Got to remember to do these markers, otherwise I'm never going to remember. So for today, I think that's 4 turns now, so I'm going to call the game there. Pirate flute is basically going to go down next turn. It takes a single more hit and it is sunk. It only has 6 damage there. 2, 4, it has got 6 points of damage. It's got 5 points of damage now, it can only take 7 in total. So it is going to be a goner very, very soon. There's very little chance of the Dutch not being able to do that in the next turn. But that is Oak and Iron. First little intro game. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be trying out a slightly larger game next time with a couple of extra ships. So I hope you enjoyed that game. I've been watching Black Sails. It's got me really in the pirate mood, so I thought we'd have a bit of ship-to-ship combat this week instead of any of our other games. And thanks for joining us here at the Cock Dice. Why not like this video and add a comment below? It really helps boost the channel. And while you're at it, if you click on the icon below, you can subscribe to the channel for all the latest updates as soon as they're live. Why not check out some of our other videos and playlists? You can click on the ones on screen right now. Take care, and we'll see you next time.